Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is the Trading Chief, and in this video, we're not going to talk about an FDA review. Instead, I want to talk about a hostile takeover. It's a merger that's been going on since early January 2022. Is when it started, and it's been so long that most people have probably forgotten about it. So I want to, I've been doing days of research. I've compiled my list into a Word document. I'll bring it up on the screen over here in a minute to go over it, just so I'm not sitting here making a 40-minute video of me scrolling through 1,000 news articles, which I've already done. It was a nightmare. It may not have been that much. I might be exaggerating some, but you get what I'm talking about. Um, and how are we going to make money on it? That's what really comes down to it. And I think you might like what I've got in store for you. So, as you can see, I've already got it pulled up. We're talking about the JBLU, or the JetBlue and Save, or Spirit Airlines merger. And currently, it closed at 16.93 at after hours trading. It's up to $17.20. I like this price tag because if you scroll back to January of 2022, oh, I'm sorry, January of 2022. I mean, the opening for that week was $19.34, and the high was 21. So as you can see, you're already below the starting price point of the merger to begin with. And yeah, it's dipped a couple of times based off of the viruses that happened and the airline difficulties throughout the year. But I like this price tag currently. It's not quite in the oversold territory on the weekly. Uh, it's at 34 on the RSI on the daily, but my stochastic slow K line just came down and contacted my D line, indicating that it's about to take another leg down. So I would look at it if it pushes down and it doesn't bounce off the 1642. Look for it to drop down to around $15. So I just want to put that out there before we get into this. I am expecting it to push down further, but let's look at it, man. I want to get into this. I think you'll like what I got. Let's check it out. So on January 3rd, 2022, this is what started the whole thing off with JetBlue's. And it says Cunningham sees an even harder year ahead of JetBlue, which is ramping up its flight capacity in a way that the analysts foresee would negatively impact the revenue per available seat mile. On February 6th, earnings flashed, and Spirit Airlines posted a quarter four loss of 64 cents, which I put that's a big loss for them. 7th February, right after their earnings, Frontier Airlines and Spirit Airlines to combine, creating America's most competitive ultra low fare airline. Today announced a definitive merger agreement under which the companies will combine, creating America's most competitive ultra low fare airline merger. Terms imply value of a $25.83 per Spirit share. So it wouldn't really be 25.83 because the way they structured the contract, you were basic. If they went with the Frontier merger, you were basically going to get 1.9 whatever fractional shares of Frontier plus $2.30 per share price target. So you're going to get 1.9 shares of Frontier per JetBlue share that you owned, plus an extra $2.30 cash on top of that. So it wasn't really. I mean, I guess it is 25.83, but how the math worked out, but it wasn't really what you were getting. Um, but that's neither here nor there because obviously I already told you they're not going with the Frontier airline bullshit. Uh, Again, on February 7th, Dow Jones antitrust spirit makes things harder for the new Frontier. On the 8th, Spirit to start talks with JetBlue because JetBlue put in an offer of $3.6 billion. Needless to say, after a bunch of offer rejections from Spirit board and shareholders over Frontier and JetBlue, um, we ended up in July where they finally made the agreement with JetBlue because shareholders voted for JetBlue over Frontier, even though um, Spirit wanted to merge. The Spirit board wanted to merge with Frontier. JetBlue said Monday that it will increase its prepaid cash dividend to $2.50 per share. It will also boost its breakup fee to $400 million if its transactions fails to clear antitrust regulators. JetBlue has also offered to add a ticking fee. So this is where we're going to make the money at right here. It's not much, but that's why you'd be buying in around $15, which would be a monthly prepayment of 10 cents per share between January 2023 and the closing of termination of the deal. You got to remember this is June, this is 27 June of 2022, and they're talking about the ticking fee would start in January of 2023. And the closing of termination of the deal. JetBlue Airways has again modified its proposal to acquire Spirit Airlines based on the discussions with the Spirit shareholders. JetBlue, adding a ticking fee, increased the reverse breakup fee of $400 million. So if what this is saying is if you hold the stock, if you hold SAVE stock, and it goes all the way down to the antitrust, and the antitrust says, no, you can't merge together, they're going to pay out $400 million to the people that held the stocks. So you're guaranteed to make $2.50 per share. I put this in the wrong spot. You'll get that. You're guaranteed to get $2.50 per share off of this. JetBlue submits approved proposal for Spirit Airlines at $33.50. If the deal goes through, they will be paying $33.50. As I just told you, it's currently at $17.20 in the after hours. So you're looking at what's that? $16.30 price increase plus the 10 cents per share per month that you're holding it. On top of that, something that I didn't mention earlier, SAVE also has a quarterly dividend which will pay out in May will be the next time. So, and that's $1.90 per share. Let's keep going. JetBlue submits improved proposal for Spirit Airlines at $33.50 per share. The addition of a ticking fee mechanism provides shareholders with a monthly prepayment of 10 cents per share between January 2023 and the consummation or termination of the transaction. This represents an estimated, aggregate ticking fee of up to $1.80 per share. Oh goodness. Why Spirit Airlines stock is moving lower today? We don't care. After the Spirit board's failure to recognize our decisive superior offer, we've discussed our offer directly with Spirit stockholders and are now modifying our proposal in response to stockholders' expressed interest to include a monthly payment for shareholders with the certainty of a significant cash premium at closing, stated JetBlue CEO Robin Hayes. So what they did is they had a lower agreement where they were going to pay $30 and there was no ticking fee or anything like that. And after talking to the shareholders, because the board kept saying that Frontier's proposal was better, they went to the stockholders and asked the stockholders what they wanted out of it. And the stockholders eventually, I think it was 52% voted for JetBlue. So yeah, there's that. Spirit shareholders should not be misled by Spirit and Frontier's rosy projections of a potential future stock pick price, which are based on highly flawed assumptions that fail to account for the actual market conditions, including the need for pilot pay increases and elevated fuel costs. So there's that. And then skip all the way forward to 19 October. Spirit gets stockholder approval of merger agreement with JetBlue, Spirit Airlines, JetBlue. Oh, I'm sorry. They agreed. So this article came out on the 27th, right? And then the stockholders agreed upon and accepted on the 28th of July. And then, as I said, skipping forward to October, Spirit gets stockholder approval of merger agreement with JetBlue, Spirit Airlines, and JetBlue expect to conclude regulatory process and close deal no later than the first half of 2024. This is important to know because we're going to get into a couple of news articles closer to our date here in a second. On 14 December 22, Spirit Airlines says on September 12th, JetBlue received a request for additional information, documentary material from Antitrust Division of DOJ. Says JetBlue certified substantial compliance with the second request. On 7 March, the U.S. Department of Justice files antitrust lawsuit to block JetBlue and the Spirit merger. The U.S. Department of Justice on Tuesday filed an antitrust lawsuit seeking to block JetBlue's Airways' $3.8 billion acquisition of Spirit Airlines. If the acquisition is approved, JetBlue's plans to abandon Spirit's business model, remove seats from Spirit's planes, and charge Spirit's customers high prices, according to the lawsuit filed in Massachusetts court. JetBlue's plan would eliminate the unique competition that Spirit provides and about half of all ultra low cost airline seats in the industry and leave tens of millions of travelers to face higher fares and fewer options. I don't really care about this because I don't fly any of these. I think they're all crap. To be honest, I've flown on Spirit and I've flown on Frontier, and they are two of the worst flights I've ever taken in my life. They're so uncomfortable. They have a tray table that is literally only big enough for you to put your cell phone on. That is hot garbage. I don't know what else to tell you. If JBLU is able to take over Spirit Airlines, they would become the fifth largest airline in the market, and Hopefully, I've never flown JetBlue. Hopefully, they are better than Spirit and Frontier. That's my 2 cents on the whole thing. I don't really give a crap. I'm an opportunist. I'm just looking to see if I can make money out of it. And to me, I see free cash right here. So it may not be a whole lot, but free cash is free cash. So I mean, let's be honest. You can do worse things. You can tie your money up in AMC waiting on a squeeze. That's never going to happen. So, and trust me, I've already done it and did it and got out of it. So there's that. Oh yeah, I have JetBlue's website pulled up right here, and I just wanted to read. Their settlement resolves concerns about Florida ensures new jobs and additional flights. And it says, we're extremely pleased to secure the settlement with the state of Florida supporting the merger between JetBlue and Spirit. The agreement ensures that the merger will deliver new jobs in Florida as JetBlue adds its low fare flights and airports across the state. The combined JetBlue and Spirit will increase seat capacity by at least 50% in both Fort Lauderdale and Orlando, and will increase its aggregate seat capacity to all other Florida airports in which JetBlue or Spirit currently operate by at least 50%. These commitments will bring hundreds of new daily flights to Florida, additional frequencies in over 35 markets, and service to nearly 50 new routes that are not currently observed by either JetBlue or Spirit. JetBlue will bring at least 1,000 new jobs to South Florida, at least 500 new jobs to the Orlando region, and at least 500 new jobs to support JetBlue's expanded operations at airports throughout Florida. JetBlue will extend its no furlough policy and provide increased compensation to Spirit team members. JetBlue will maintain all Florida facilities currently in use by either JetBlue or Spirit, including Spirit's planned future headquarters in Dania Beach at their current or planned employment levels or greater for at least 5 years following the merger. I mean, I don't know if you care to read any of this stuff. JetBlue is 3 times more effective than Spirit at bringing down competitor fares. I don't know about that. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. JetBlue's award-winning customer experience will reach more customers. Supposedly have direct TV programming at every seat. That's cool. The combination will unlock long-term opportunities to add more destinations and routes that otherwise would not be possible. JetBlue and Spirit together will still be much smaller than any Big Four carrier. Even as the fifth largest carrier combined, JetBlue and Spirit will have only 9% market shares compared to 16 to 24% of each of the four largest airlines. This is pretty important. I think this right here will help the merger go through the antitrust, because right now the antitrust is saying that they're going to raise prices and try to compete with the big four. That's not possible with the amount of market share that they have compared to the big four. There's no way they can keep up. So I mean, you would probably be charging 30% higher than the big four in order to make up the margin difference. And at that rate, nobody would be buying your plane tickets anyway. So I don't think this is gonna. I think this is gonna help them get through um, the antitrust lawsuit. JetBlue and Spirit primarily compete with other carriers, not each other. JetBlue has offered unprecedented upfront uh, divestitures to ensure ULCC growth. I don't know what this is talking about because ULCC is literally the stock ticker for Frontier, so that's why I had to stop and read it. I was confused. JetBlue will expand sustainability leadership, and then yada 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 yada. So, um, oh, and then I wanted to look at one last thing. It was this last one. Oh, of course, I can't. Elizabeth Warren leads the Oh, you know what? I already brought it up. Elizabeth Warren leads cavalry into deal battles. Look at this. Copy that shit into print or into paint. Reinforcements are arriving in the trust busting fight. The U.S. Department of Justice on Tuesday sued to block JetBlue's Airways JBLU $3.8 billion acquisition of Spirit Airlines, and it may yet be joined by colleagues at the Department of Transportation. It would be the third curious regulatory intervention in recent weeks, each encouraged by Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. The cases speak to how President Joe Biden's administration is pushing its consolidation crackdown to new extremes. Department of Transportation merger approval is typically a formality since the industry is just 1970. Warren argued that the DOT should use its own tools, specifically in the Spirit situation. I don't actually say anything, so never mind. All right, well, that's all I have for this. Hopefully, this was insightful and I just didn't waste 20 minutes of your time. So, um, yeah, it was just so far back that I wanted to do a video on it because I actually forgot that it was happening, and I look at stocks and read news every single day. So, hopefully, you find it. Um, what's going on over here? Oh, hopefully, you find it useful, and maybe you get in it, maybe you don't. All right. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.